As best we can, Rockefeller Brothers Fund is trying to mirror in its actions what we say in our mission, in our words, in our ideals, and what we try to do in our programs and get other people to do.
Rockefeller Brothers helped to develop this building, this whole concept.
John D. Rockefeller Jr. donated this land to the Interchurch Center for the whole purpose of building a nonprofit building where all faiths would feel welcome and collaborate together.
This place is a reflection of all of that. It reflects on this wonderful history and legacy of philanthropic work, and it also projects it very effectively into contemporary and future.
For the trustees of the Interchurch Center, it's almost as if they've decided to come home.
We are now actually residing in our community.
This just signifies that a major institution can operate and really align its mission with moving to what's out of the central commercial area. The more we explored it, we said, this is the right move for us.
There's something powerful about, as an organization, yourself acting differently in a way that's perfectly aligned with the ideals that you're trying to promote.
I really want the RBF to be a true center of philanthropic excellence. And I mean that to extend to everything that we do, not only our grant making, which is obviously at the core, but in how we treat our employees and how creatively we can use physical space to create the kind of culture and conditions for work that we think will enhance our work and the productivity of our work.
The openness of the space not only represents transparency, which it most obviously does as you look around here, but also inclusiveness.
They value the staff and the space in which they work on a day-to-day basis for long hours should be very livable and high quality and encourage high performance.
One of the great things about this project is how we also made the process more democratic. We involved people at all levels across the entire organization in the process.
We wanted to bring staff fully engaged in the design process.
This was my first experience with having employees share their desires for the new space. Totally a new phenomenon, but a very positive one.
They solicited our feedback in terms of what we liked about the old space, what we didn't like about the old space, and what we wanted to see in the new space.
The Sisters Room is a terrific example of staff input. We were seeking some other names for cafe as well as some additional conference rooms, and from that seed came the idea of how could we pay tribute to the women of the Rockefellers, and it came up that we should really call it the Sisters Room.
And that was what was so fabulous about making this a collective effort. You couldn't do it so well with a small team of people working on it.
It seems like a wonderful democratization of the workplace.
It was really great that they gave the administrative assistants that choice.
I had been told that they were constructing the space so that the executives were on the interior and the rest of the staff would get the exterior wall.
In a very real way, the design of this space is a physical manifestation of the redesign of our grant-making programs.
They said to us from the beginning that they felt almost cellular and too linear in their process, and they wanted to be a lot more collaborative and open.
We actually want to see the program leaders interacting with each other more often and, challenging each other. It's the kind of sparks that you get when things collide.
So quite literally, we're breaking down the barriers, we're taking down the walls, and we're starting to look at the places between our programs that there might be some interesting work.
These spaces here in between the bays of workstations are meant for that. They have stools, they're meant for people to lay things out and talk about different ideas. And the grants have a place for collaboration and a place for everyone to sort of come to and convene. When they get together to process all the grants before a board meeting. The cafe is meant to be a collaboration space. There's all these little seated lounge areas.
There's been studies to show that if you make a healthy workplace, people take fewer sick days.
We are now making a very conscious decision that we're not just going to be funding efforts to help heal the environment. We're actually going to be living the way we've been asking others to live.
You know, it's the first time in my life that I'm getting the window seat as an admin person.
As soon as you get off that elevator, we wanted people to see the other shore of the Hudson River and have that connection to nature.
The underlying theme of the space was classic modern, but we wanted to connect back to our history.
The traditions of the Rockefeller family are physically manifest in Pecanico.
The Rockefeller Brothers Fund happens to operate in 2 different places, in Manhattan as well as up in Pecanico Hills,
which is the family's estate that John D. Rockefeller built in the early part of the 20th century. And we've worked very hard in recent years to take this old place and, without changing the way it looks to anybody, make it more environmentally sensitive.
With their conference center, it's surrounded by clear glass. When the board is operating, everyone can view. Again, gives that impression of transparency.
We stumbled upon these doors and they just immediately struck us. We could take that portal from there and bring it here. It would tie those 2 places together.
The thing that's nice about it is that it is a reflection on the legacy of Rockefeller family philanthropy in a way that also projects it forward, makes it contemporary and future-oriented.
This space it's green, it's sustainable, it is meant to remind us each and every day that there is a new world that we're trying to help usher in through our grant making.
I think we will get there someday. We will value human capital and the natural capital that goes into making a place a place.
We're sort of one dot along a curve, and it's exciting to be here right now, but it's also exciting to experience this space as a place that's leading us into a future that just might, allow this world to be relieved of its suffering and people to experience each other and their environment in a different way.